Welcome everyone to Props and Parlays. I'm your host Andy, being joined as always by my fellow prop betting expert Andrew McInnis. We're breaking down Chiefs and the Jags. A lot of big name guys here. Some disappointments for fantasy football and for props so far this year. We'll get into some of those, but Andrew, I actually think this is a fairly bettable game. I think there's a couple of premium props that I really like, and then some that I lean. So I think we can dig up some pretty good ones here. How are you doing today?
Doing well, Andy. I like looking at Monday night game, and we, like you said, we see some opportunities, some prop opportunities. I know we do the show Mondays, and it's the last game of the week. People are excited, but as people have seen with you and I, some weeks we just don't have a lot. And this is one of those weeks where there's a handful I like, and then that's about it. I don't really have many leans and like this and that. It's mostly like these are the plays I like, and that's what I've decided on. But it is kind of interesting. I will say it's definitely funny to live in a world where people are just bashing on the Chiefs. Like I was talking with a friend over the weekend. People love to like bash on greatness and anything. Like it was a guy that loves soccer. He was kind of educating me on EPL and stuff. And I was like, well, same thing as LeBron James. People don't like him because he's great. Well, look at the Chiefs right now. Like, do you think there's value on some of these Chief props in general because of like how low people are on them right now overall?
Yes, there's one in particular that I think they're getting disrespected on, and I mean, look what happened. The sky is falling on the Chiefs, and if they win tonight, what are they tied for the lead in the division with the Chargers losing? It's just like,
Yeah.
here we go, and they're going to get Rashee Rice back, and like I've said, they're going to end up with probably the best receiving core at the end of the season. Them and the Bucks are gonna have the two best wide receiving cores. So, well, let's get into some of these props here, and let's start with the passing props here. Two quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence and Patrick Mahomes. I'm a little bummed because the books have caught on to that Trevor Lawrence just doesn't throw two touchdown passes in a game, and so under 1.5 touchdown passes, unfortunately, is like minus 160 in the markets. But this is a play that's 3-1 this year, taking the under 1.5. The Chiefs have only given up 4 touchdown passes, so I don't know if you want to use that as a parlay, if you just want to lay the juice, but I'm in on Trevor Lawrence to not throw 2 touchdown passes. He did the same stuff last year. He was injured in some of these games, but that prop went 6-4 in the 10 games that he played. So I still think you can look at Lawrence and under 1.5 passing touchdowns. If we want to alt line it up and take him under 2.5 and put that in the same game parlay or anything like that, I wouldn't be upset. What do you like in the passing props?
One that stuck out to me was just the Patrick Mahomes over the 36.5 passing attempts. With Mahomes over the years, he did have a handful of running backs that, the game plan would create them to have very, very dragged out and long possessions. These days with this Chiefs team, if they do have those long possessions, it's just due to short passes. It's due to long drives because they're not having those explosive deep balls. But we saw what happened with Pacheco last week, and a handful of carries and I think 30 plus yards, not much going on there in the running game, which will force him to continue to throw the ball. He's surpassed this number in 3 or 4 games. And I think that, whether or not they're leading by a ton or it's a close game or not, I feel like this number is certainly manageable, Andy, and just based on the game plan that we've seen. Talk about the receivers and how you expect them to have, one of the best in the game here soon. I think that'll take time. I think that's down the road, and maybe that's where the attempts go under because they're actually having some game-breaking plays. But as for now, we're kind of seeing the slicing and dicing sharp plays from the Kansas City Chiefs, which you kind of love if you're a guy playing the attempts. So looking at how the running back room's been operating these days for the Chiefs, I'll take the over on Mahomes' attempts.
I'm with you. You don't normally I don't normally say, oh, you're getting a lot of value on Mahomes props. I think you are. I'm with you 100% on this one. I'll also throw at you. It's basic, but over 248.5 passing. Worthy comes back for the Chiefs. All of a sudden, Mahomes goes for a season high 270 yards. The Jags, they have a decent pass defense, but they really haven't played a great quarterback. They gave up 309 to Purdy last week. So I was really surprised. You don't see low numbers on big name quarterbacks. Normally, you're paying a premium for them to go over. I'll also throw him to not have an interception. Minus 113, basically a pick 'em. and he's only had one interception this year. Remember when he just kept throwing all these interceptions because receivers kept dropping them and it just kept bouncing off hands? It was like, this guy's
Not
got
his
10
fault.
interception. Yes, this guy's got
Yeah.
10 interception in 9 games. Not happening this year. So I'm with you. Patrick Mahomes, I think, is very attackable. And like you mentioned, the running backs, we're going to get to those here in a bit. They've been very, very disappointing. They're not getting much going. And with Worthy back, it just has opened up everything. So, yeah, Andrew and I are in on Patrick Mahomes tonight. Let's move to the receivers that will be catching passes. I drafted this man in the second round of my fantasy league that I'm with all my college buddies, and it's the worst fantasy football team I have ever had in my entire life, Andrew. I'm talking about Brian Thomas. This guy's a fade, under 56.5. He's not going over this yet this season. Chiefs are 9th best defending wide receivers, and it's just not happening. I don't know what it is, if he's not getting along with the coaching staff, he's not getting along with the quarterback. It's just been a disaster. So Brian Thomas is a fade until we see it, which is too bad because he's as skilled as it gets. We've seen it. It's not coming together for him. What do you like for receiving props?
It's something that we can't help ourselves but bring up, which is fantasy football, Andy. It's hard not to when a player's kind of giving you a hard time. Here's what I wanted to bring up, and this is kind of, look, I don't have a lot in the receiving game. I like just honestly the big name guys, but what I wanted to bring up here was how much we've seen the running game be so uneventful for the Chiefs. That do we start to look towards some of their running backs as just pass catchers? Like, something tells me that it could be a good idea to explore the Isaiah Pacheco over 1.5 receptions. If I'm going to sit here and tell you over 36.5 pass attempts for Patrick Mahomes, and we did see 1 reception last week, okay, out of Pacheco. But if we're seeing this running game be completely inexistent at this point, do we look towards the absolute buy low at 1.5, or do we just wait until the next segment and say, hey, maybe that running number is pretty low? But the way I look at it is this: if he's not running the ball very well, maybe they say, let's just start using this guy as a pass catcher. A couple short passes, couple dump offs, dink and dunk over 1.5. And I'll make this very clear: this is most certainly a reception, not yards play. And it's not because the yards is a lot more and much to get. It's because he could go negative. I mean, we're talking about just catch the ball here. So I wouldn't talk anybody out of that. But other than that, I think we might see kind of going with the reliable ones. I like Travis Kelce, but I don't really like the receptions. I actually like the yards here. We've actually been seeing him lately kind of break out for that 15, 20-yarder each game. And I think that if he can be that guy for them, it's probably means something's going on with the team. They don't really need him being that guy anymore, but maybe look at his longest reception or something like that. But what do you think about kind of tying and correlating together the over on pass attempts, and then maybe taking a look at some running backs to get involved?
Yeah, if you're having attempts, I like the running backs. I like Xavier Worthy over 4.5 receptions. He's going to play. They've come out and said he's going to play. They said it just, his ankle swelled up on the Chiefs' flight to Jacksonville. I mean, I think my ankle probably swells up on a flight to Jacksonville. I wouldn't worry too much about him. I think it's much ado about nothing. So he's added to the injury report, but it looks like he's going to play. I actually... yesterday when I was doing notes for the show, I have Travis Kelce over 3.5 receptions, but that line has moved up to 4.5, so it's kind of a stay away. But yeah, you're right. Kelce's been better than, I think people expected. He's not the elite guy was, but he's been better. And the Jags give up 5 receptions per game to tight ends. So the Jags pass defense is not as good as the rush defense, and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid will surely take note. So, yeah, if you like the attempts, then, yeah, you got to pick some guys who are going to catch the passes. So, yeah, Kelce, Worthy, some of these guys, these running backs, yeah, absolutely. I would take a look in that direction. Andrew, what do you have up today? It's Monday. We got a great Monday night football game. It's NHL season. You got to be chomping at the bit with NHL right around the corner. What do you have up for everyone at WagerTalk?
Yeah, it's funny, like once hockey season's about to be over and it's playoff time, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with it. I could use a little bit of a break. And then 1 or 2 months later, I'm like, man, bring it back. So, guys, I have a new show I'm actually launching tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, which will run every single weekday. It's called The Pre-Scout, looking at the next day, looking at all the games, going over the card, taking questions from the live chat. So you guys have us with puck time at 11 a.m. Eastern. We want the night crowd at 10 p.m. Eastern. You guys can join me with that. Big futures pack out today in the NHL. Any futures bet that I make pre-flop, preseason, you guys will get in that one package. So you can join me with that. And looks like we'll just have one best bet up as far as the prop market's concerned for tonight's game. If I kind of do fall in love with anything else, you guys will get that as far as all access clients are concerned. And Andy, you're running super hot in UFC. And I love when we're doing a Monday show and you say you got a UFC play ready, because that means you're locked and loaded. You've been looking ahead here. We got a great deal as well. The $500 off a year pass, $125 a month, plus 25% bonus coupon. So if anybody wants to jump in long-term as well and works great for someone like yourself, so many sports you're doing, not one, not two, multiple different sports, manage and bankrolls properly. What do you have going right now?
Yeah, we're running great in UFC best bets. We hit our 5% easily on Saturday, and we already have one up for this week. These next 2 weeks are really, really great cards. Very, very excited. So 5% best bet is up, and we have our Monday Night Football best bet that is up 6-1 in primetime games this season. Not undefeated, but I'm almost there. 6-1. We had a great week. We're 5-2 this week. I've said my goal for this year is 58-59% range with NFL props. This weekend did a great job getting us really close there. So we're going to cash tonight. We cashed our bet last week on Monday Night Football. We hit both of our primetime props this week. So we're 6-1 in primetime. It's only $15. So you want to cash with us, go ahead and jump on board. That's over at wt.buzz/AL. Again, 5-2 this week so far on props. And we're looking to get this one home for a really, really nice 6-2 week, as well as our 5% UFC best bet. All right, let's talk about these running backs here, Andrew. I'll go first. I think they're too low on Kareem Hunt on his rushing yards. I got 27.5 here. This guy's gotten 30-plus yards the last 3 games. They've been awful. They were really doing nothing, but I think this is a slight overreaction. I actually think this Jags team is way overrated. This is not a great 3-1 record. The teams they've beaten have not been that impressive. Looks like Kansas City got back to their winning ways last week. They look really good, albeit against a really bad team. I think there's a chance that Kansas City is up in the fourth quarter and they're running the clock and running the ball. So I like Kareem Hunt over his 27.5. I can't believe we're still playing Kareem Hunt at this point. But listen, he's getting the carries. Pacheco, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he just hasn't recovered from that leg injury last year, but he's not been effective. And as long as Kareem Hunt's getting the ball and as long as the Chiefs trust him, I will too. What do you like for rushing props?
I love it, Andy, because there was a time and a place when we were betting his number at like 80 yards, and now it's like he still has value just at lower yards. So it's kind of hey, that no matter where you are, what you're doing, this guy's bringing value to us. It's kind of interesting because, like you said, you could try and pick off a Kareem Hunt, or even say, you know what, let's buy low on Pacheco. Like, man, this number is low, but I'll tell you what, with this Chiefs running team, running game right now, I would go Hunt or nothing, but it seems to me like it's just really not going well. But I'll tell you what, I've got them ranked, 22nd as far as the rushing yards allowed per game. And we talk about undervalued potentially on the running backs for the Chiefs. Maybe there could be a bit overvalue here for Travis Etienne. I mean, looking at 65.5, that number continues to kind of get hung around that number. But I like the over. And the biggest reason is just the carries, the usage, how often he's getting put out there. And look, I know I might not have the best track record of bashing on quarterbacks because a guy named Drake May just lit it up last night, who's the guy I've given a hard time to. But Trevor Lawrence hasn't really been a guy this season, Andy, that they've wanted throwing the ball every single play. Let's put it that way. And in the games that they've had success, they've still put up 25-plus points. He doesn't have a ton of yards. He doesn't have a ton of attempts. He's just very consistent, playing smarter. So that leads to the running game being active. So this, to me, is one of those ones. take the RB1 and take the over. I think he has a good game tonight.
We're going to go over some anytime touchdown props, and we're going to build our same game parlay. We haven't hit the long shot yet, but we're going to. We just need to hit one of them this season. And then we're going to do a look ahead to next week. Let's take a look at some of these anytime touchdowns here. Andrew, I'll go first. Jags have only allowed 1 rushing touchdown, but 7 passing. That leads me to these plus money plays on guys like Travis Kelce and Marquise Brown. Kelsey's plus 180, Marquise Brown plus 255. Again, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes are going to notice things like this where the Jags just are not allowing rushing touchdowns, so that comes through the air. I think if you're looking at the Chiefs and you're expecting them to score, 3, maybe 4 touchdowns tonight, I think you look at the receivers and the tight ends. What do you think?
Yep, tight ends, 100%. I'd look towards that. I don't want to go against it, what you said, but I do think it's funny just because how much we've been bashing on the running backs. I think it would be hilarious to see Kareem Hunt get in. Like, to see both running backs just have, like, abysmal games and then just see a goal line play where they – and like you said, with the Chiefs, they pretty much have to be, like, on the goal line to be willing to run the ball, and especially against this team. But I actually do see some value there in the plus 190 price tag there. This is my quote unquote long shot of the day here. Plus 295 Travis Hunter to get into the end zone. Andy, what do you think?
They got to do something with him. I mean, at some point,
might as well use them.
Like, hey, we traded everything for him, and meanwhile, Agbuka for the Bucs is just torching the league. He's a top 15, he's a top 15 wide receiver. Meanwhile, Travis Hunter, let me pull up Travis Hunter's stats here and see exactly what they're using him for.
But it's not as much, like, you hit it on the head, though. It's not as much what he's doing poorly. He's just not being used.
Not using it. Yeah. 3, 1, 3, and 6 catches. His most yards is 42 yards. It was last week. He doesn't have a touchdown. They're going to have to design some plays to get him in the end zone. So maybe that's one you just start playing every week. You just say they're going to run some plays to try and get him in space. And
I bet you can get plus 300 at one book for sure. I see plus 295 where I am. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to take ETN, but the books are way out in front of that. It's basically even money, and I don't want to lay that kind of price. Tonight's a good one. Kelsey up to plus 190 on DraftKings. Yep. Marquise Brown plus 190. So I think those would be the places that I would look here. So let's see. Let's build a same game parlay here. Had a nice cash for clients. I cashed the over half an NFL announcer to attack an Uber Eats driver in my home city of Indianapolis. That was fun.
Whoa. Yikes.
I'm just saying it was a small sprinkle and cash the over. All right. All right, let's do it. Sorry. It's a big story around here, Andrew. It happened just like
No. And you know what? Everybody always takes the side of the celebrity until you see the notification on your phone. He is arrested. He was the one that started things out. It's like, okay, maybe we don't always take the side of the guy that's famous. Maybe that's the right idea. We can't always. The other guy can't really make his case for himself.
Well, around here it was like, downtown's getting dangerous. You got to watch out. And then it's like, oh no, actually, downtown's perfectly fine unless Mark Sanchez is walking around blacked out. All right, let's do a same game parlay. We each pick 2 legs. I'll go first. I mentioned him, Andrew. I'm going Travis Kelce anytime touchdown plus 190. I just can't ignore that 7 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown allowed by Jacksonville. So primetime game, give me Kelce to get in there at plus 190. All right, what's your leg? What's your leg, Andrew?
Sorry about that, Andy. I just lost you for a second there. I'm going to go with the 36 plus passing attempts. I like that one a lot. It's one of my best plays of the day. It's a free play of the day. I'm going to rock with that for Patrick Mahomes. 36 plus passing attempts.
36 plus passing attempts. Okay. Let's get some defense involved here, Andrew. Give me Karlaftis to have a sack. It's plus 136. This guy has a sack in 3 out of 4 games. He's the most athletic guy that's on that defensive line. He's been getting the most pressure. And if anyone's going to get a sack, I think it's going to be Karlaftis. So can't ignore that 3 out of 4 games. Lawrence is mobile. He can move around. And the fun thing about sacks is if a quarterback runs out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage, the nearest defender gets credited with a sack. So you have that little thing going for you there. So, all right, Karlaftis to have a sack. That gets us to 9-1. What's your last leg here? We're going to get a really juicy one.
Okay, I feel like I've only really been taking overs with these since we started. I'm going to give you an under on receiving yards. Travis Etienne, under on his receiving yards. Let me know what your number you're going to be able to get me, Andy. I see like 13.5, 12.5,
Okay.
13.5. Look, if I'm so high on him continuing to get those carries, if they're feeding him the ball in the ground game, we've seen, they have countless options to pass the ball to. He has not really been that guy this season, at least not in his last 2 games, and as a pass catcher role. And if he does, it's a bailout. It's just to avoid getting sacked. It's a quick catch. They're not gaining any forward progress. So maybe we'll try and mix the juju up here a little bit, Andy. I'm throwing it in an under on the same game parlay. Travis Etienne, not to do much here in the receiving game today.
It's a good one. Gets us to 17-1. So we got Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown score. Patrick Mahomes, 36+ attempts. 1+ sack for George Karlaftis. And under 12.5 receiving yards for Travis Etienne. There is your
17-1.
17-1, baby. Let's go. Let's go. We hit this. We're free rolling the rest of the season. So we're going to do look aheads. This is the most important part of the show that we do to get ready for next week. We're going to do that. Guys, please hit the like button. Really helps the algorithm out. Put a prop down in the comments section. Let us know what you like tonight. Give me a long shot parlay. Give me one of your favorite props that you like for tonight. Always love reading these comments and seeing what you guys are on. But again, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do that. You get notified when all these shows go live, when all these shows are released. And we have 1 million breakdown videos to help you get ready for your bets. All right, let's take a look at the look aheads here, and we go to Thursday night football, and I believe it's Dan's Eagles on Thursday night football. It's going to be, the Eagles and the Eagles at the Giants. Dan's team coming off of a loss that I told Dan I actually think they needed to lose that game, and they needed to. They need some, a little wake-up call, something to rebound, and now they go to the Giants, who looked pretty bad. So in that game, I'm going right back to Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown. Barkley, under. I hate to say it, Saquon Barkley's not looking very good this year, Andrew.
Yeah, I was gonna say this could be a get right game. This could be one of those. I've said it before on the show. I noticed that in games where the point spread is like a touchdown or higher, I noticed the running game just completely goes off for the Eagles.
Okay,
and we see Jalen Hurts not need to throw the ball very much. In games that are closer to a pick is when Jalen Hurts has to actually be a quarterback. So maybe this is an opportunity for them to feed the ground game to get Barkley back going again. Do you think that I look maybe towards Hurts rushing yards then? And if you're not feeling it with the Barkley number, I've just noticed over a lot of games, and this isn't really a small sample, that when the Eagles are decent sized favorites, it seems like, the numbers, I understand they would be inflated due to the spread for the running game, but I feel like they seem to always do really well on the ground. So, but if you go on the headlines, like I was searching up when prepping for this show, look at the headlines. Dan, I don't know if you can pop on here right now, but the headlines are insane. Like they're acting like Barkley is done. This guy was unbelievable. Like the headlines I saw on all these articles, I am like, what is going? I was like, did like something happen with Saquon Barkley? Is he okay? Is something going on?
Like calling for him to retire.
Yeah, like everybody, the way they were talking about him was nuts. Like these articles, should we be worried?
Well, he's had he's like 3.7 yards per carry. That's not good.
Yeah.
They got bigger fish to fry. Come on. This is a Super Bowl or bust team. Why would you run this guy into the ground right now? Oh,
offensive line injuries.
Dan, this is why we love NFL overreactions. I just love it. I'm here.
I mean, I said they were going to lose to the Broncos. I said they're going to lose to the Giants. So we'll see.
Ooh, oh boy. Oh boy, I don't know. I don't know if the Philly fan base could take losing to the Giants. All right, Broncos and the Jets. This is over in London. I have happily stayed away from from any of these overseas games. I'll do the same thing. I will tell you this: rinse and repeat. Andrew is Justin Fields to not throw an interception. He doesn't throw the ball a ton, and when he misses high or very low. He just doesn't throw a lot of hospital balls. That being said, I had him over 1.5 touchdown passes and under interceptions yesterday, and we get there in the garbagiest way possible. Complete blowout. He gets 2 touchdowns late. I probably will not be playing Justin Fields props. Probably nothing in this game for me. I don't like these overseas games. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't like the overseas games as well. I also don't like it when they're boring. I prefer to like wake up and watch a high-scoring game. The Jets continue to kind of struggle against the run. They're very similar to where I was about talking about the Chiefs. I think they're next to them, either one notch higher or one notch lower. So maybe look towards some rushing props if you're looking at the Denver Broncos. But that's all I've gotten now. I think it could be good though. What's the number here I have?
That's a great look,
for the New
Andrew.
York Jets?
Dobbins is 5.2 yards per carry. That's a
Yeah.
great look against that
Jets
Jets team.
27th in the league rushing yards per game allowed.
It's actually better than I thought they would be. Cardinals and the Colts. I will go right back to Daniel Jones over his passing. He somehow, I don't know how he didn't go over, but he missed his over by like 15 yards. But Andrew, they had a blocked punt where they got the ball on like the 5-yard line, so it basically took away a scoring drive. And then they were up so big they yanked him in the 4th. So not even playing the full game and having a drive that started on the other team's 5, he almost gets there. This sets up for a really nice Daniel Jones over. What do you think?
I got a guy dropping a ball an inch before scoring a touchdown at minus 200. I got nothing in this game, Andy.
All right, Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Boy, this is as ugly as it gets. If Jaylen Warren is healthy and playing, I'll take his over receiving. I think he slides back into that role. Other than that, looks like Gabriel really likes Njoku. He threw a lot to Njoku, so probably another big game for him. Any takes on this game?
That's what I was gonna say. I had Njoku the first 2 weeks of the season, went 1-1 with his props, haven't gone back to him since. But he seems to be like that guy that nobody really wants to make a big play with, but everybody feels comfortable with. So it would be a receptions, not yards for me with him. I think that he can get what was it? Yeah, 6 receptions. So look towards him most likely. And I don't want to put any jinxes out on this, Andy. And I've never usually bet these, as you know. But the Gabriel to not throw an interception, is it just me, or were they like super, super safe with him yesterday? Like I didn't see.
I got to tell you, it was a brilliant game plan from them. It was hand the ball off a million times. Don't let your quarterback throw dangerous passes. Yeah, I'm with you 100%.
You know, and you want the young guy to throw an interception. People are going to be down on him. Maybe he starts off a couple games in a row with keeping the ball safe.
The Rams and the Ravens. This poor Ravens team cannot get anything going, but they can sure give up a lot. I'm going back to Matthew Stafford over 1.5 touchdown passes. Matthew Stafford to not throw an interception. I think you can play Kyron Williams. I think you can play Blake Corum. I mean, this Ravens team is bad on defense. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I would look towards actually Stafford under on his yards, just because I think he's not going to need a lot. I think the running game is going to be utilized quite a bit here. This Ravens team, we do know what they're capable of as far as their rushing defense is concerned, but that was a team that was capable of that when, you know, they were playing well. They were putting up points themselves, and they had, you know, long drives and holding on to possession. If they allow their opponent to drive down the field consistently, they're going to give up yards as well. So, yeah, it's a tough time of year right now to be a Ravens fan. And I hate to shout out Ariel Epstein, but it's a tough time to be a Ravens and Yankees fan right now. So sorry, Ariel, but tough time for you.
She's going through it. She's going through it. Her
Go
social
Jays.
media feed. Her social media feed is a lot of rage
Go
right
Jays.
now. Let's move to the Seahawks and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Holy cow! Jackson Smith and Jigba continues to be fantasy football darling. Continues to be props darling. We'll see what happens with Jacksonville tonight, but Darnold to throw an interception. Yeah. Also, can you get a better price for Darnold to throw an interception at the worst possible time? I feel like there's interceptions and then there's Darnold interceptions when it's just like a back-breaking, like horribly timed interception. So I would take that, but I got to wait and see what happens with Jacksonville tonight. Any takes on Seattle?
I think for Seattle, I'm trying to just go over some numbers right now. Don't want to say the wrong thing, but yeah, like, see, this is insane here, Andy. Like, even in a game with 4 passing touchdowns, 35 points, the completions was only at 28.5 for Sam Darnold. So right now Seattle ranks, where is it here? 26th in the league in pass completions per game. That's been why they've been kind of what they have been this season, is that they've had a really, really good balance right now. They're not completing a ton of passes. They're not throwing the ball a ton. They've got a really good balance of the passing and the run game. So in this matchup, I'd probably look towards unders in the passing game. And, if you can put up that many points and still only complete like 26, 27 passes, I'm not really convinced that you need to throw the ball that much.
Go to the Cowboys and the Panthers. I don't believe for a second that the Cowboys defense is fixed. I just keep fading this Dallas defense, and I will take Carolina's Bryce Young to throw over 1.5 touchdown passes. We cashed on Justin Fields. Granted, it was in complete garbage time, but I'm going to stick to it. That play was plus 150 on the Dallas Cowboys opposing quarterback to throw. So I would go to him. Got to wait and see what happens with the running back situation with Carolina. Obviously, Rico Dowdle was amazing yesterday. Maybe Chuba Hubbard plays. And I believe Dowdle got a little banged up in that game. So got to wait and see what happened there. I have no idea what to make of that wide receiver for Dallas that went ballistic yesterday. Out of absolutely nowhere. I literally have never heard of the guy. But I don't know. I don't know what to do with Dallas besides Javonte Williams overs. What do you think?
I'm going to take over on field goals in this game. Cowboys kicking a ton of field goals. Carolina, they start to look good for a drive, then they get stalled, have to kick a field goal. Over 1.5 field goals in general for the Dallas Cowboys. Brandon Arbery has been a good parlay leg. Like, you're getting like minus 200 range with this prop now, so it might not be worth it for a single bet for some of you out there. But yeah, I think we'll get over 3.5 field goals. Your book should offer that as far as the game props is concerned.
It's a great one.
Kind of a look ahead.
That's a great one. The Chargers and the Dolphins. Couple teams I really don't know what to make out of. I mean, this is a Dolphins team that just blew it to the Panthers. But I will say this, Tua's throwing for touchdowns, man. He threw for 3 of them. And this Chargers team, offensive line is struggling to sustain drives here. I would take Tua over his touchdowns. And as far as the Chargers go, man, Herbert is just not... When you have that many injuries on the offensive line, sometimes there's just nothing you can do. So I'm struggling to take any props on the Chargers right now. But as long as Tua is healthy, I'll take his over touchdowns. What about you?
Yesterday is frustrating because don't we all wish we just had Waddle props?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been nice and easy if
Waddle.
Yeah, I feel like everybody, like all the people that just wake up and like lock their props in a minute before the games are like, oh, Waddle's definitely going to have a day. And, of course, he ends up doing that. So you know what that means, Andy? We look towards the under in this one. Okay. That's what you do. It's kind of like the first game with a fresh quarterback. You want to back them, and then they have a win, shut out to Jackson Dart. Then the next week they lose. This is probably what we're going to look towards. Hey, you know what? No Hill. We need Waddle to step up. Okay, team's game plan. Waddle's going to be their guy. He's going to get a ton of receptions. Yeah, the whole Waller thing, though, that was kind of shocking for me. I think Devon Achane just starts becoming part of the receiving game even more than he already was. And he's a guy I look towards as far as receptions and not yards. He's going to be taking a lot of passes, and maybe they'll start being more of a slice and dice team. Maybe this Miami Dolphins team, and it only took like a year and a half for them to figure this out. Maybe they aren't that same explosive team they once were that can get up the field, score a touchdown in 3 plays. Maybe they can't be that team anymore.
Shout out to the running backs of Miami. 13 carries, 14 yards. Nice rushing attack there. Tua had one rush for 5 yards. It was better average than the running backs. All right, we move on to San Francisco and Tampa. Baker Mayfield over 1.5 touchdown passes continues to be a gem. San Francisco, their defense, you can get after them. San Francisco is going to be rested. We'll see what happens with these injuries. I got to wait and see it. But if Pearsall comes back in the lineup, I'll be taking Pearsall. Whoever's the quarterback for San Fran, I'll take them. Tampa's got one of the best rush defenses in the league, but you can throw all over them. So you're taking passing and receiving props against this Tampa thing. What's your take?
Yeah, I'm just going to look towards Baker Mayfield completions. He's throwing the ball a ton right now. You look at the passing touchdowns, of course, but yeah, whether it's a highlight play or if it's a short pass, he's throwing the ball a ton. So, well, they'll probably hang a good number there for us based on how this game's projected to be a close game, and we'll see if he keeps throwing.
Moving on to, wow, Titans and the Raiders. I will have nothing on this game, Andrew.
I'm not betting this game, Andy, and it's not because you can't bet good games. It's me being completely transparent. I haven't watched a wink of either of these two teams this season. That's just the truth.
I've had to watch the Titans because they're in the Colts division, and I had to watch the Raiders because they played the Colts. It's brutal. It's brutal. I will say this. This could be a sneaky game that ends 28-24 just because both defenses are bad and they finally get stuff going, but I won't be betting it to find out. We move on to New England and New Orleans. Saints team, I'll give him that. Frisky, 26 points against the Giants. Okay, Spencer Rattler, I see you. Throwing for a touchdown, no interceptions. He did rush the ball 6 times. I think you can go back to that. Is this the letdown spot of all letdown spots for the Patriots? I mean, just screams that they lose to New Orleans a week after beating the Bills. I guess if I'm looking at the Patriots, I have no idea what to do with the rushing. Gibson is probably out. That was tough to watch last night. But Trayvon Henderson gets 6 carries. Stevenson gets 7 carries. May's got 3. Do we believe Stephon Diggs is back, or was that just a revenge game? I don't know. I probably won't have much in this game.
I mean, I'll say this. If people aren't betting Hunter Henry longest reception already, you're missing out. And I know that's not the most popular bet on the board. I said it last week. He's a guy that's, you'll see, 2 receptions, 45 yards. I mean, this guy, when he gets involved, he catches a good one. But I'm on the other side of what you said there. Is it a letdown for the Patriots, or is it a letdown for the Saints?
Oh, that's right. Oh,
you
boy.
say this yourself, point. Andy. This is your phrase. It's easier to ask bad teams to be bad than good teams to be great. The Saints are not going to be great back-to-back weeks. I got your own quote on you.
I will just say this. I wouldn't say the Saints were great yesterday. I mean, Jackson Dart literally dropped the ball as he was running with nobody around him. Of course, the Cardinals did that as well. We move on to the Bengals at the Packers. You want to talk about the most garbage stats of all time. Yesterday, Justin Fields and Taylor put on quite the show, as did Jake Browning and Jamar Chase. I mean, give me a break how Jamar Chase ended up with 2 touchdowns, 6 catches, 110 yards. T. Higgins ends up with a touch. I think this is a Green Bay classic Josh Jacobs spot where they just run the ball at will. Detroit rushed the ball 33 times yesterday on them. So give me all the Josh Jacob props. What do you think?
Yeah, look at the point spread here in this one. You got the rest. You're coming off a tie game. This game could be a game that the Packers come out hot early. Like, I might be looking at first half team total, first half for them, looking at guys to get off to explosive starts. I think that Josh Jacobs, he's somebody that we could look at, but I might even just look at Jordan Love as far as his rushing yards are concerned. This Bengals team has not been good against the run. And I think that off that game, I know the defense gave up 40 points, but Love's not going to be happy with some stuff that took place as well late in that game. So he's going to kind of have that dog in him as well. So sometimes in a 14-point spread, I'll say, hey, there's no need for a quarterback to sacrifice his body like that. I'm kind of interested in what that Love rushing prop number will be. But we'll see here. I love betting props against the Bengals because the Bengals could still be involved in a game and every single player on the other team could still hit their overs. That defense is just leaky.
Yeah, I'll take Jordan Love to not throw an interception as well in that one. All right, here's a fun one. Detroit, Kansas City, prime time. Easiest cash on the board yesterday was David Montgomery to have a touchdown. We did that with parlayed with the Lions to win here. Monroe St. Brown has just been incredible. I would take him over his receptions. He's been arguably one of the best. He's been a top 3 receiver this year, so I would take him, and then we got to wait and see what happens with Kansas City. What are you thinking with this Lions team?
Yeah, like I said last week, Amon-Ra is winning me like 2 fantasy leagues. I think we saw Sam Laporta have a great game yesterday, and I know we don't want to be Monday morning quarterback literally here, but looking forward at that game, they're going to need him over the top. Look at this point spread here. The Chiefs, again, we talk about it. The Chiefs are a team people are kind of bashing on right now, and they're still a pretty good team. We'll see what happens in the game tonight. As far as that game is concerned, we're going to have to see what happens with Hunt and Pacheco. But, Andy, I think that they're going to have to run the ball in this game against the Lions. You can't be just strictly pass. They will absolutely blitz you. They'll go after Mahomes. You need to keep that running game a part of the game. And so I think that maybe there could be some buy low spots on Hunt or Pacheco moving towards this game.
We got 2 Monday night games real quick. My Monday Night Football best bet is up at WagerTalk. 8-2 NFL run. We're 6-1 in primetime best bets this season. Andrew's got an NHL futures pack. Look for his Monday Night Football pack. Both those plays are up at WagerTalk.com. Buffalo and Atlanta. Atlanta coming off the bye. Buffalo coming off a brutal loss. I would look at Drake London to have a big game. We saw Stephon Diggs tear the Bills apart, and that Buffalo Bills defense continues to be banged up, and they just give up a lot of stats. Drake London would be where I would attack this. What do you think?
Yeah, the Falcons, number 1 team in opponent passing yards allowed.
Wow.
Can we confirm that? Can we get some double checking on that? I was looking across the board here. You know who's number 2? Buffalo. So kind of interesting to look at this number here. But having said all of that, give me Josh Allen overs. This guy is not going to be happy. He's a bounce back guy. That game, he did not look pleased whatsoever. I think his receivers were letting him down a little bit late in the game yesterday, but I'll be looking towards longest completion. I'll be looking towards Josh Allen. I think this Atlanta team has a way to just kind of get exposed by kind of the elite teams, and Buffalo staying focused after an outright loss as they had yesterday. I think they're a good team to back.
I will also point out that, not saying that Bills stat is a little fraudulent, but they have played the Saints and Justin Fields.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. The Falcons have given up the fewest yards. And finally, Washington and Chicago Bears. I'll keep playing Caleb Williams to not throw an interception. That's been a nice one. Other than that, you can go back to Rome Odunze. He just continues to catch touchdown passes from Caleb. And then Krosky Merritt has cemented himself as the number 1 back in Washington. And Chicago Bears rush defense not been very good. So Krosky Merritt is going to be a star next week. What do you think?
I was going to just say the only guy on the Bears and really between these 2 teams I've been looking at is Odunze. So he's been consistent, relatively the same numbers each week, but just kind of, we talk about this in other sports, Andy, but in football, it's a bit weirder because you don't want to be sweating like a guy to just barely go over a number. But I've kind of been noticing that with him, like he's going over by a handful of yards. It's not really the same as a guy going over by 1 shot in hockey. Like you kind of don't really want to be betting on a guy that's barely going over, but Odunze is kind of that guy. You give him over on a certain number, he just gets there for you. So maybe he gets there in this matchup. And I like the fact that they're dogs. They'll be throwing the ball all the time. I think he'll be useful over the top. I like it.
Andrew, tell everyone about your new NHL show and what you have up for everyone.
Yeah, super excited, guys. Hope you join me on this new show, 10 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. It's called The Pre-Scout. We're going over the next night's games. So when you want to hear talk about shelf life, this is shelf life for you. We're going to attack the board. We're going to look at all the opening numbers, analyze each matchup, most importantly, interact with you guys in the live chat box as well. And we'll have some guests. Best bet tonight in the NFL, though, we will have a prop bet up. And, of course, the futures package in the NHL. We have one that is a 7-1 futures prop in the NHL. Ooh. Don't miss out on that, guys.
Is it? No, that would be less. I was trying to think like Toronto fans to be disappointed at the end of the season, but that's like minus 700.
That's minus 700. Yeah, that's.
All right, great stuff. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment below. Tell us what props you like tonight, which ones you're on. And again, don't forget to subscribe to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. We're over 222,000 subscribers. Join the WagerTalk family by subscribing and hitting that bell. Thanks for joining us. Good luck in all your bets. We'll see you next week. Take care.